Hello, and welcome to this episode of the Happy Workaholic Podcast. I'm your host, Kellyanne Gorman. I'm a business, LinkedIn, and podcast coach, as well as a luxury brand consultant, and I help business owners take their brands to the next level by implementing my personal techniques when it comes to growing their service, sales, and social media. Over the past 20 years, I've helped grow multiple brands in the beauty, hospitality, health, and luxury travel markets. I've exceeded all of their expectations, and I'm here to share my tips and tricks on how I did it. Inspiration, motivation, and determination are what got me to where I am today. And trust me, living with an autoimmune disease is never an easy task. So you can definitely expect some pretty crazy stories shared here as well. Don't forget, the after show happens after each episode in the Happy Workaholic Podcast Facebook group, and that's where I'll be every week to answer all of your questions. Now, if you want to hear any of my exclusive news first, just visit thehappyworkaholic.com, scroll down to the bottom of the page, and sign up for my weekly VIP newsletter. Now, let's get started with today's show. In today's episode of the Happy Workaholic Podcast, I am giving you an update with my health. I'm going to be talking about my neuromyelitis optica, aka NMO. And I just wanted to share my story in depth with the recent news that I got so that I am able to help others in the future and just be the voice for somebody where they're afraid to speak up, give them information, maybe help them stay organized and give them some more ideas on how to be on top of your health. So that is the reason why I recorded today's show. I just felt like I really needed to share what was happening in my life so that others out there know that they're not alone when something like this happens. So here's today's show. Hey everyone, welcome back to today's show. This is episode number 97, which I am recording once again. I recorded this show last night and it somehow got deleted. And I'm kind of glad because I was the Hot Mess Express. And I just received some health news, which I'm still trying to comprehend. And I hadn't slept. I slept maybe 3 hours total. And I literally had been hysterically crying since Friday. So now that I'm definitely medicated today, but I feel like I'm in a better place to get through this show without crying because I was definitely swearing and definitely crying last night when I recorded 40 full minutes and then somehow it randomly deleted. So, so everything happens for a reason. So today I want to share with you, as you know, the reason why I started this podcast was because, well, you may or may not know, is because I have an autoimmune disease called NMO, which is short for neuromyelitis optica, and you can basically become blind and or paralyzed at any given moment. And I was originally scheduled for surgery August 2016, and my surgeon said she didn't feel comfortable operating unless I got cleared by a neurologist because she thought I was having a stroke or I had MS. So that was August 2016. And I got my clearance and I was diagnosed with having MS, which was wrong. I was then diagnosed with having MS and NMO, which is also wrong because you cannot have both. And now, so I just want to kind of go over the laundry list, the long list of things that I have gone through since August 2016. And my reason for recording this show is just to bring awareness, which is why I have incorporated life with an autoimmune disease as well as business and LinkedIn into my podcast because it is such a part of my life. And I've always said that if I can help at least one more person out there, then I know that I'm doing something right. And it helps me heal along the way. But I really want to bring awareness and really let people know and tell people that you have to be proactive. You have to be your own advocate. You have to take this on as a job, whether it's for you or a family member or anybody else, a friend, that you have to be on your A game. This is something like no other. So having to take care of a disease or an illness. It's just not a game you want to mess with. So you always have to be on your A game. So going back since August 2016, so 26 months, I've gone through 5 neurologists in Las Vegas. I've been admitted to the hospital 3 nights in Vegas, as well as, actually it was 2 nights, as well as a 9-day stay, which was in April 2017, which is when I finally got my official diagnosis from my 5th neurologist that absolutely you only have NMO. And I've given thousands of vials of blood work. A lot of the labs I've had to do is 37 vials at a time. And that's a lot. And you can be sure I got like a huge burger after that because I was like dying. I've had literally hundreds of doctor's appointments. I've popped so many pills. I mean, thousands. If you've been following me on Instagram, I always post, getting my pills prepared for the week. And I mean, I just had to make like light of it. Otherwise, I find like sense of humor really helps me get through like the really deep, dark days of having a chronic illness. And I'm just showing people, how to be organized like I do with everything else in business with your illness. And if you're sick, you have to be organized. So thousands of pills I've been on, so many, which is like literally sickening. 5 days of IV steroids I've had 5 days of IVIG, which is like a blood transfusion, let's just say, without going into like all the medical scientific explanation. It's like a blood transfusion, and I had that for 5 days when I was in the hospital for 9, and when I was in Las Vegas, and I think I had 15 IVs then, which is why I now have a metal device in my neck and chest, which is called a power port, which is how I receive my chemo treatments because my veins are invisible. And I've had 10 chemo treatments, which I just found out the one that I'm on is luckily one of the almost, I think there's a couple, but it's one of the few that actually do not give you leukemia as a side effect, which is like absolutely insane. Your throat can close up and you can die automatically. And that's why the first treatment is like 8 to 9 hours, I think it took me, the first treatment. And the rest are kind of dwindled down. They have to give you the chemo really, really slowly to see how your body reacts. But after investigating the other night, this chemo, everything says death. Like all I could see was death. And I'm like, oh my God, like it's just insane, these drugs. I've had 5 relapses total, which included loss of vision, and all I could see was bright lights and like spotted lights as my best friend rushed me to the hospital. My legs went numb. Since I've been in San Diego, I have had 3, so 2 of them were in Vegas and 3 were here. And I just assumed that it was because I hadn't gotten my last chemo treatment, which was June. It was supposed to be in June, and I haven't had it yet because I was waiting to see a specialist, and I felt healthy, and honestly, I was scared to death to even get it. I just had psyched myself out. Like I wasn't mentally prepared because the last couple of times I thought I was going to die. And it's very hard to mentally prepare yourself for that again. And I think because when I was getting it in Vegas, it started off once a week, then it was every month. It was just a part of my life and it was so consistent. But now since I haven't had it since December, it's like a mental game. Like you really need to psych yourself up to like get this treatment. And you really can't go into a treatment or a surgery being scared, because you just never know how your mind and body work, and it's just like really scary. So I still haven't had that treatment, by the way. I was supposed to have it in June. I've gone through 16 MRIs and 2 spinal taps, which is 2 years worth of just intense MRIs. So that's like my laundry list there for you. And I'm telling you this because I have waited about 5 months to see, in one of the top universities in the country, a specialist for this disease. And on Friday, so I saw him a month ago, excuse me, and I had some homework. I had to get all my MRIs, the actual disc scanned into the system, sent to me from Vegas, scanned into the system, and ready for my specialist to look over on Friday. So I met with him on Friday. He looked over every single one. All my labs came back from the Mayo Clinic, and they came back negative. And then he told me that I do not have NMO. There's no way. You do not have NMO. And I just can't comprehend that. I can't wrap my head around it. I don't understand, because I am so on top of my health and my appointments. And I've literally researched what every single lab is and there's been hundreds of them that I've been getting tested for, the scientific name, blood work, you name it. I've literally made this my full-time job. And that's why I'm always saying, you really need to do that, because people make mistakes. And a lot of people always say, doctors are practicing medicine. They're just practicing. Even though, it depends on how long they've been doing it, but they're still just practicing medicine. But people can make mistakes. And I know that my lab in the hospital, when I was in Vegas, I was positive for NMO, and now I'm negative. So I've been dealing with another specialist all day yesterday, which is Saturday. I'm recording this Sunday, and this is the afternoon before I recorded the really emotional podcast that got deleted last night to share this story. And he is on the East Coast, and he said that I need to continue to fight, and that it's very strange that, a lot of people do say that you can fluctuate in your numbers for the NMO test when you are on steroids or chemo. It suppresses you, so your numbers will go down. My number has gone down where it ends up going into the negative range. So my test just comes back negative. So now I'm being told that I do not have NMO. So rewind to 2 years ago when I was told that I have MS, and now I don't have MS. And now, after 5 neurologists and now a specialist, I'm being told I do not have NMO. So I said, okay, so what do I have? You have nothing. You're normal. You don't have anything. All the lesions in your brain have gone away. Your spine is normal. All these reports are wrong. So you could just imagine how I felt, so confused and furious and upset, and literally every single emotion that you can think of came over my body. So now I'm being asked that I need to get the protein levels of my 2 spinal taps, as well as the actual test I had in my when I was admitted into the hospital for 9 days in Las Vegas. So I went on my patient portal, and I realized, which, by the way, when your doctor says, have you signed up for our online portal? If you don't have that done, you need to do that. Do it today, do it tomorrow. Make that a priority, because this has saved me so many appointments, because I go on my phone. Just my last appointment with my specialist, I went on my phone to show him labs, because they weren't sent with the 100-something pages to my specialist that I know I've complained about, because that took me 2 weeks to get. That never even ended up happening. I had to go another route. That was on another episode it was probably a month ago. And anyway, so I went on my online portal, and I went to the hospital online portal in Vegas, and I realized that not everything is there. So on a Friday night, I called the emergency room, the doctor. I demanded to speak to a doctor or nurse who knew which lab they used when they send out specific labs, when they can't do it in-house. I found that name out after about 35 minutes of calling, and I signed up online. I got into my account. Boom, there it was. There's my blood work. There's my positive NMO test. So I have that. So now tomorrow, Monday, I need to call and get the protein levels for my 2 spinal taps, one which was done in the hospital that their office isn't open until tomorrow, which to me is ridiculous, because if you're in the medical field, I feel like it should be 7 days a week, but that's besides the fact. So I need to call tomorrow and get my protein levels for my spinal tap. He has my positive NMO test, and I also need to get, there's one other thing. And he has an entire radiology team. I have another radiologist, and they're all dissecting all 16 MRIs. So the fact that I was told that I do not have NMO anymore, I can't even, I'm very medicated right now because I just couldn't get through this weekend. So I just had to take a Xanax, and I try not to take those. Those are like my absolute emergency pill when I have a panic attack. However, this weekend I needed one because CBD oil, my friends, is just not enough, because the fact that I have, like I just mentioned, my laundry list of things that have been procedures and given so much blood. I no longer have B cells in my body because of all the chemo. I've had 10 chemo treatments. And if I really don't have this disease, in the last 26 months, I've lived my life and put my friends through hell, which has been my absolute biggest support system. I don't have this disease, and I've been given all of these things that can potentially kill me. You better believe that I'm going to be in court until I win, because this is unacceptable. It is, it's just unacceptable. I don't even know, what else to say. That I could have died on multiple times because I have drugs in my system. Chemo, especially, I've lost half my hair twice because of chemo, and I don't have anything wrong with me. And I've gone through hell, and I've put my friends through hell, and I literally thought I was going to die on so many occasions. But it doesn't explain the fact that I've had relapses. I have nerve damage. I've seen lights. My whole body has gone numb. I've spoken about this on another podcast where I had a relapse, and I was just admitted a couple months ago. What is causing that? Well, there's a side effect from the chemo that causes that. So there really isn't anything wrong with me. And I've been misdiagnosed for 26 months now. And somebody is now telling me I'm perfectly normal. All of these things that I'm feeling are actually side effects from all of the drugs and chemo that is in my system. So there's that. Or I do have NMO still. So I don't know. There's no way of knowing until this week. I don't know. The specialist is very positive, 150% positive that I do not have NMO. And the specialist that I've been talking to, that I spoke to yesterday from the East Coast, whose job is blood, and he's trying to find a cure through blood and testing it with animals, I believe. I could be wrong. He's saying, I said, maybe I should go, I was so appreciative, thank you so much for helping me. He's like, you are one complicated case. I'm like, story of my life. Of course I am. And, you are, he was saying you're a very complicated case, and that, that's all, he gave me so many answers. I've had multiple, lab tests, and I realized, some have just been renamed. And it's very confusing if you've ever gone to an online portal for LabCorp or Quest Diagnostics, to see your labs. I have to Google every single name and then write down what the hell they're really testing me for. Nobody tells you anything. So it's up to you that you do it yourself. Otherwise, you're never going to know. So he told me that, I said, thank you so much for helping me on a Saturday. I truly appreciate it. And maybe I should just go buy a lottery ticket. And his response was, I think you've already used your 1 in a million card. So do I not have NMO anymore? And I've been lied to, and scientific proof is wrong? I don't even know. I don't know if I have NMO still, or I don't know if, I'm going to be dealing with lawyers for a very long time, because I just don't know. Hopefully I will have an answer this week. But science doesn't lie. And if I'm staring at things and they are telling me that it's positive, but now it's negative, I cannot comprehend that. I can't comprehend how 16 reports from radiologists are all wrong, from lesions in my brain and discs bulging in my spine. It doesn't make any sense. Or the specialist made a mistake and he's going to tell me that you do have NMO. So I don't know. So I wanted to make this podcast because I was so emotional last night, and I posted something on Instagram and Facebook, like all these quotes, because that's just how I felt. And when your job is online, that's probably not the smartest, but I'm very open about having an autoimmune disease and a chronic illness and what I've been going through so that I can help others. Sorry. And, God, I'm almost done and I haven't cried. I think it's because I'm I'm very numb right now. Tomorrow's another situation. I also have a doctor's appointment every single day this week, and I haven't had that in a while. So it's going to be a tough one, but I'm going to get through it. I'm going to be a voice for others that are not able to speak up for themselves. I'm going to spread more awareness about NMO or just being organized with your health, because if you're not, you're basically screwed, because nobody else is going to do it for you. You have to be organized with your health. You need to get answers. You need to, like I posted last night, get a second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth opinion. I'm now on my sixth. And that's pretty intense, pretty insane. But if I'm 1 out of a million and I really don't have this disease and I've gone through hell and these chemo treatments, somebody is definitely going to pay for my 26 months loss of life. That is for sure. So that's it. That's my update. I felt like I should record a new podcast. Because last night's got deleted. I definitely dropped the F-bomb a lot, so I'm kind of glad that one went away. I'm more level-headed today, although it's just a lot. I'm just trying to comprehend, because I don't understand how this has happened. I don't know. I'm back to square one. I don't know if I have NMO, but yet all of the work that that needs to be done has been done. So now it's just waiting for the experts to come back to me again and let me know the answer. So that's that. I just wanted to record another show, especially after posting that last night. Everybody's really worried. I didn't do that to worry you. I just did it because I was emotional. I'm an emotional basket case. I can't stop crying, but I know that I just need to be strong and fight and continue to live my best damn life as much as I can. In the pool. I'm recording this from the pool because I needed to just relax today, absolutely zone out and relax. So that's all I have for you guys today. I really appreciate you listening to the very end. If you have any questions about how to be organized in your health, shoot me a message on Facebook or Instagram. You can always find me at The Happy Workaholic. I would love to help you, because you need to be on your A game, whether it's for you or a family member, so that you can get the results that you deserve, so that you can continue to live a happy, healthy, positive, and productive life, and not be misdiagnosed and you just go with the flow, because that's not okay. I'm on round 6, friends, round 6. I still don't know. But, so I haven't cried and I haven't sweared. That's a good day. So just say your prayers for me and hope that I get some news this week. Good or bad, it doesn't matter. I'm just waiting. It's a waiting game. You have to have patience, and I'm so not having patience right now. But I'm going to try my best. So that's it. I hope that you guys have a great rest of your weekend. And next show, hopefully I'll have some more answers. I can't believe this is episode 97. It's so crazy to me. We're almost at 100, and that's my new series coming out. I can't wait. So thanks again so much for listening, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. Thank you so much for listening to today's show. If you liked this episode, please let me know by writing me a review on iTunes for the Happy Workaholic podcast. I would truly appreciate it. As I always say, sharing is caring. Don't forget, the after show happens after each episode in the Happy Workaholic podcast Facebook group. And that is where I am every week to answer all of your questions. Now, just so you know, I have been spending so much time over on my Instagram, and I would love to connect with you over there. You can find me at The Happy Workaholic, and don't forget to tag me when listening to your favorite episode so I can showcase you on my Instagram stories. For any other information regarding the Happy Workaholic Network, leverage your LinkedIn and your podcast production, just visit thehappyworkaholic.com. I hope that you are having a wonderful week, and I will talk to you again soon.